Okay, again, we just started the grill. We have the lighter here. First, we had to turn on the gas right here. It was turned this way. We turned on the gas. You make sure none of these are on. They're all on off. Right now they're full blast. But first you make sure they're all off. Then, as we showed in another video, we lit one pilot light right here. We've lifted this one up right here. Lit that pilot light with the lighter that's right there. Okay, then turned it all the way on, all the way on, all the way on. Then they all light each other. This right here, this pan, you make sure you kind of put it down where that hanger, where this is exactly how that's supposed to look when it's ready. This piece here. Okay. And then we leave these on for about 10 minutes in the morning just to get it heat up. So at the end of the day, we're in here. Notice we got to make sure all this is wiped down. We also want to make sure
all the knobs get sanitized, and then the guy that closed with me didn't notice that there's a bunch of chicken here. This whole thing, it's all filthy in here. So this is Saturday night, so we're not going to be open for a couple days. This is for sure a night that we're going to detail all this and make sure that there's none of this crap. We're going to pull out this, and there's a bunch of food in here like that. This should have been dumped today for sure.
that needed to be dumped. All this cleaned here.
Yeah.
And then also the chicken here.
Yeah. And then when we close for the night, also during the day when we empty one of these, it's got raw chicken in it. We're not going to leave it out all day to get warm with raw chicken juice in it. We put it back in the fridge, and at the end of the day, we need to check these, and if they're empty, we need to clean them. They didn't get done today.
Okay, so these need to be cleaned.
That doesn't make me happy.
Okay. So these were missed. Anything else in here?
That was it.
Okay. So these need to be cleaned before we close down for the day. Okay, so I just bleached, sanitized. You know, we did the knobs, we do the knobs, and we do this section sanitized, but we just need to make sure there's no food when we end the day under here that will get nasty and have flies, but you don't have to sanitize under here. It doesn't have to be squeaky clean sanitized. We just want to make sure there's no food, right, Ben?
Right.
Okay, and then here's how to clean down here.
This is called the crumb tray.
The crumb tray.
So pull it out, take all this grease and burnt bits. So we're gonna have to also scrape all this off here.
Scrape.
And then we're gonna replace the foil as well.
Okay, what do you use to scrape that? Let's find that.
We use a scraper.
Scraper.
Scrapers are going to come in a variety of types, but
Okay.
most common that
Oh,
we're
just
using.
one of these. Okay, sure.
You could use, if you had a dirty spatula.
Like one of these?
Yeah.
Potentially?
Actually, yeah, that would work pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, okay. That guy.
And then when you're scraping it, don't just scrape this onto the clean floor. Scrape it into a garbage can.
Sure. And this is how often? After every day we close?
Yeah, it should be done every day.
Every day.
If it's a really slow day, it's not as big of a deal, but
yeah,
it's good practice to do it every day. That way they don't get forgot and turn into an issue. This is a way that you can have a big grease fire in here.
Okay.
And grease fires are dangerous.
Yeah. And then after you scrape it, do you need to do anything else?
No, you don't have to clean this really well.
Okay.
I wouldn't put a lot of time. It's just going to get really dirty.
Okay, and then how often do you replace the aluminum foil there?
Once a week.
Once a week, okay.
Yeah. Maybe we'll make this a Saturday thing. Today's a Saturday. So
yeah, today's a Saturday. Okay.
We can pull the whole thing out. But it's good to not go too far with it.
And then you need your knee because, the weight of it. You roll it up like that. And then you don't even really, do you need to wipe that up a little bit or no?
I mean, but I will get the crumbs out. But it's kept the majority of all that.
Yeah.
This this, it's going to get dirty. It's going to get really dirty.
And then it slides. Okay, so there's
tracks.
little tracks. You see the track right there. So it slides in. Now we're going to put in aluminum foil.
If you do take this out and you do something else with it, like if we take it over here to put the aluminum foil on, you're going to have to remember which side is the outside because it goes in a certain way. This is the front.
This is the front.
Yeah, we can write on it with the Sharpie.
No, yeah. This is the back.
Yeah.
There's no lip. Okay, got it.
Precisely. All right, let me get this foil.
Okay, now we're getting the aluminum foil. The aluminum foil's over here.
Actually, no, it's in the front. Sorry. It used to be there.
Okay. Okay, so we leave the aluminum foil actually out here for the single tacos. So he just came and grabbed it. Now we're putting the aluminum foil down. So you do 3 rows, and then you'll kind of tuck it under. Okay, and we'll put that back right there.
The one thing that's important about this is it should have a lip that kind of goes up, just so it kind of creates a dam that will prevent the grease and crumbs from migrating underneath all this stuff.
Yeah, so
just kind of press down on the side like that.
Okay. So you're creating a lip.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes over the sides.
Yeah, you don't want it to hang over the side because it'll get stuck on the slide part.
Yeah, okay.
Just so it's kind
where
of
it goes in on the track. I see.
Doesn't have to go all the way to the top, but it has to go up a little bit.
So a little bit of a lip right here.
Yeah, it doesn't have to go all the way up.
Got it.
Any sort of upward lip or dam or whatever you want to call it. Okay.
I see. And then this part, you don't want it.
You don't want that.
You don't want this to go here because that's where it goes in the track. But you do want it to lip.
It's a tight fit above this, so if it's up, it'll get torn off.
Okay.
When you push it in.
I see.
If it goes above this lip here, anything above this lip will get caught.
It'll get caught. So when we put it in this track, see there's tracks here and here. And that's where the back, going on that track. And then this lip here is the front.
Yeah. And then
and so
make sure that this guy goes right under this hole right here.
It goes under that hole. This goes under that hole. Beautiful, Ben. So on this, at the end of the day, Ben is thinking ahead, that he's thinking of future days and how much chicken he'll need. And so he's gonna end the day here defrosting. These are rock solid frozen chicken. He's gonna put them in these clean bins and then put them in the refrigerator, come back tomorrow for prep so they can somewhat begin to de-thaw. So you'll just put them in these bins, into the fridge, leave, come back tomorrow, then you can start.
When you put these in here, it's also important to try to find places for them so you don't end up with big caves that or 3 bags won't fit into this.
Okay.
Square containers work best for this.
Yeah. Okay.
22 quart containers.
You try and get 3 of these bags into one. Very nice. So when we realized we had empty raw chicken, empty buckets of raw chicken, this also needs to be sanitized right here at the end of the day in the fridge. Anything else to that, Ben?
just got to sanitize it
at the end of the day in the fridge. Okay. And just that shelf where it was on, just
any of the shelves that have
any raw food, raw meat. Okay. Okay, and so at the end of the night, we've cleaned and sanitized this blender and these. You want to kind of leave them at an angle so everything can dry underneath. And I had this sitting right here. Well, it was wet underneath. So you want it to sit like this. You want it to sit like this so it can dry underneath. Same with these. You want to make sure in case it's wet underneath that everything can dry properly on the table.